Hello and a very warm welcome to Match Point, where we focus on all things African sport here on CCTV Africa. I'm Mahe Mutua. Here's what else we have for you this week. Aiming higher, we focus on the young talent plying his trade in Tunisia, but who has his eyes set on Europe. And Rio inaugurates its Olympic canoe stadium for an official test event. Well, let's begin in East Africa. Elite Kenyan athletes have called on the Kenyan government to criminalize doping in the country as a way of curbing the runaway cases in the East African athletics powerhouse. Calls for renewed efforts to combat the vice rose to fever pitch just a day after 7 athletes were banned for doping. CCTV's Sadiq Shaban has more.
Training continues as usual for a number of Kenyan athletes in the talent-rich area of the Rift Valley province. As the new season nears, the quest to be in top shape gathers pace. But so are the distractions and doping cases that are threatening to outpace the sport, and Kenyan athletes now want a legal solution to the crisis.
What Kenyans should do is actually to come up with to criminalize doping, such that when an athlete is found guilty of having dope, he had got to serve a jail term in order to finish completely the doping issue.
Kenya's 400 meters hurdle champion Francisca Koki and 400 meters runner Joy Zachary have been suspended for 4 years for use of banned substances in the latest round of sanctions by Athletics Kenya. Two-time world cross-country champion Emily Chebet is also the latest high-profile offender who was also banned alongside 3 other athletes.
We want to see who are the athletes who are really given the cover-up. And of course we want the world authorities also to come out with the names. We don't want things of allegation. We want the truth so that we clean our federation and clean our image as Kenyan athletes.
It will have a lot of impact to our country, and also they are going to mess our image because only few people are doing that, but not everyone. So they should deal with the individuals who have been doing that.
The Professional Athletes Association of Kenya, who held a 2-day protest at the Federation headquarters, say their move has now been vindicated.
So, but when we now intervened, even the government saw that what we are talking is facts. And you saw, just after 2 days, when the standoff was over, you find that they released the list of those who are pending.
A total of 43 Kenyan athletes have now been banned for doping for the last 3 years. Kenya just recently approved the formation of the National Anti-Doping Agency. It's business unusual at the source of Kenyan athletics talent, as news filters in that 7 more Kenyan athletes have been sanctioned for anti-doping rule violations. These latest revelations will do nothing to help Kenya's already battered image in athletics. Sadiq Shaban, CCTV, Iten, Kenya.
And still on that story, a section of Kenyan elite athletes say they support changes at the local federation, but disagree with the way the body was put under siege by mainly low-key athletes. Here is what they had to say.
Most of them are not athletes. I have never seen them being in the world of sports, being active. We know people who are active and who have been active before, but you know, the fact is that some of them, they are messing the image of the active athletes right now.
Of course, yes, we know there is a crisis about the leadership, but it was not the best way to do it. You know, we can do it in a very mature way, not at the same way we did it. You know, everybody can do that, but who wins at last?
There were not all the elite athletes who attended that function, and I can say not all athletes supported the move. Not all of us actually supported the protest.
Right now, indeed, a turbulent week this has been for Kenyan athletics. Joining us for more on this story is a man who is no stranger to Kenyan athletics. He won gold at the 1991 World Championships in the 10,000 meters, as well as the 1996 and 1998 Boston Marathons. I am, of course, speaking about retired Kenyan athlete Moses Tanui, who now joins us live from the home of Kenyan athletics, Eldoret. Moses, what is your reaction to the latest doping sanctions on Kenyan athletes by Athletics Kenya? And would you say that the problem is bigger than what's being reported?
Yes, I'm very sad today that the Kenyan athletes have been banned today, and it is very, very sad for Kenyans. This is what we have been saying, and the damage is growing every day. You know, doping is something that is not good for us, for the country, and for everybody. Banning of the athletes today, that makes about 43 athletes since 2012. It's a big number for our country, and this is very sad for our country, and we need to see that everything is, we need to change.
Now, Moses, it's been widely alleged that some of these banned pharmaceuticals, doping pharmaceuticals, are easily available there in Eldoret town. Is that true, and to what extent, perhaps?
Yeah, I know the pharmaceuticals in Eldoret are there, but what I want to say is that, you know, they are licensed. And most of the medicine that is doping is you can buy on the table. But what I can say is that there is a medicine that you cannot purchase on the counter. So, like for the EPO, those are the medicine that you need prescription from a doctor, and then you can inject yourself. But you know, we don't have laws that govern or say that punish the people who sell those drugs. So we need Kenyan government to make laws in our country that punishes athletes, and I want to say also punishes the coaches, agents with those athletes are found with doping. This is something that we need to do as a country, and I'm asking our president and all the legislators in parliament to do a legislation so that we can have a law that can punish even those people who sell those drugs on chemists.
Finally, Moses, obviously you were prolific during the 90s. That was your decade. How is it that during your time, the cases of doping were quite low, especially here in Kenya, but it seems to have been on the rise, especially among this young generation of upcoming athletes?
Yeah, during our times, we were training very hard, and we didn't know that there was a medicine that they normally sell on the chemist. But you see, these athletes want to get rich every day, and they want to be richer as soon as possible, which is very, very wrong for an athlete that thinks that he wants to be rich, because it is like stealing the money from the bank or robbing a bank with a can. So we can't allow that. And you know, during our times, we were training very hard, climbing some hills, going to the track, running some long distances without using any truck or using any doping. But nowadays, because we have a very competitive events nowadays, and we have so many athletes that are running nowadays, and this is sometimes some of the athletes want a shortcut to be rich, and I condemn to the highest level that these athletes should be punished and even put in jail so that we stop this thing, we stop this menace.
All right, Moses, thank you very much for speaking to us here on Match Point. Indeed, a worrying state of affairs for Kenyan athletics. That was retired Kenyan athlete Moses Tanui speaking to us live from Eldoret town here in Kenya. Well, now shifting borders now, after the IAAF named Genzebe Dibaba 2015's Athlete of the Year, Ethiopians have expressed their excitement, saying she is now ready to go one better in the international athletics arena, just like her sister Tirunesh. CCTV's Girum Chala has more.
For many Ethiopians, Genzebe Dibaba being named as the Female Athlete of the Year by IAAF is a cause to celebrate. To them, this is a sense of pride in their country.
I'm so excited and proud that she has got the award for herself in our country, Ethiopia. This is all about her hard work and dedication. It's all a lesson to us.
As an Ethiopian, she has made me proud. I'm over the moon. She's indeed the best.
Genzebe did not have to look far for inspiration. She picked her skills from her older sister, Tirunesh Dibaba. Though the track and field star did not get the honor the little sister got, athletics enthusiasts saying things can only get better for Genzebe Dibaba.
Genzebe Dibaba is now taking the role of Tirunesh Dibaba and she's waving the Ethiopian flag high. She's getting many gold medals, as well as she is also breaking a number of world records.
Ethiopians expect Genzebe to shoulder the responsibility of bringing home as many medals as possible, just like her sisters. For Genzebe, analysts say her recognition as the best athlete for the year 2015 is just the beginning, and the award will be a huge moral booster. Group Jala CCTV, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Right, well, it's time for us to take a short break here on Match Point. We'll be right back with plenty more stories, including aiming higher, the story of a young talented player plying his trade in Tunisia, but who has his eyes set on Europe. Welcome back. Now turning to football, the Under-23 Africa Cup of Nations got underway this weekend, with the competition also doubling up as a qualifier for the 2016 Olympics. Tunisia is one of the 8 teams in contention for the 3 tickets on offer to Rio de Janeiro. For many of the young players in the competition being held in Senegal, this tournament offers a platform to build on their dreams of developing impressive football careers. One such player is Nader Gandri, a French-born Tunisian player who is the only boy in a family of 4 children. He tells us about his journey in building a professional football career.
My name is Nader Gandri. I am 20 years old. I play club football in Tunisia with Club Afrique, but I started to play the game in my neighborhood in Paris for a local team. So far, my career highlights include a match I played in the 2nd division last year during my first professional game and winning the Tunisian league last season. It was a very exciting moment. My ultimate dream is to play for one of the greatest clubs in Europe and make my parents happy. Football has already changed my life financially. Ever since I joined a major club in Tunisia, my profile has risen and I'm more famous, but I hope to become a big football name not just in Tunisia or Africa, but Europe as well. This Under-23 competition is very important. It is a good platform for us young players to showcase our talent. As a midfielder, I try to model myself after FC Barcelona's Sergio and Manchester City's Yaya Toure, who is one of Africa's top players. My message to young amateur players is never give up, and hard work pays.
Right now, the debate rages on over whether or not South Africa's national rugby coach should be retained and given a further 4-year contract extension, or if he should be replaced by a foreign coach. Heineke Meyer's job is on the line, and the duration of his tenure will be decided in December at a meeting at the South Africa Rugby Union headquarters in Cape Town. Former Springbok player Brayton Pauls believes that change is required to get the Boks back on track and up to the standard of the current world champions, New Zealand. CS Du Plessis brings us more.
Springbok coach Heineke Meyer's fate will be decided next month when the South African Rugby Union's General Council meets to discuss whether or not the 48-year-old stays on as the head coach of the 2014 World Cup semi-finalists. Calls are growing for the Bok coach to stay on, while there's more and more rugby pundits who feel it is time for change, especially after failing to win the World Cup. Former Springbok wing Brayton Pauls believes that SARU's General Council have a tough decision to make, but need to make a call based on what is best for South African rugby.
I'm not saying he must stay or he must go, but should he stay, man, he needs to bring in, some consultants from across the board, like a Michael Cheika did, or just give the public or the people of the rugby fraternity or the fans who are so fanatic about it some sort of plan or some sort of clarity to where the Boks are going.
The man, capped 64 times for his country, maintains that it hasn't been the 4-year tenure many expected from the man who won 3 Super Rugby titles with the Bulls and was tasked with winning the World Cup in England.
I just felt Heineke had 4 years to prepare and build a team up to something special, and I'm sure he tried. I'm sure he obviously had his own methods on how to make this team a world-class team. But if I look at the results, against the top-tier sides, it's not really good. I mean, 1 out of 8 against the All Blacks. Surely you haven't get the success that you wanted to.
Pauls believes that under Meyer, the Springboks have not progressed and are playing a style of rugby that is not going to see them competing with or overcoming their rivals and current world champions, New Zealand.
If you ask me at the moment, we went back 4 years. Seriously, there's nothing that we went back to just the old physical style and kick and chase. It's very easy to see. There's no risk involved. There's no bravery involved. And I'd like to see more bravery and more skill involved with the team. You can see the guys they're trying their hearts out, but they play to a specific plan. Who certainly, I'm afraid, not working at them in this current situation in the modern game of rugby, because our game has really come a long way the last couple of weeks. Japan teams like Japan, teams like Argentina, Australia, certainly they're coming to the fore as well. So we're going to get left behind. So some serious questions from SARU, some serious decisions to be made the next couple of weeks.
The second test between South Africa and Ireland takes place behind me at Ellis Park on the 18th of June next year. The big question, will Heineke Meyer still be in charge of the Springboks come the Ireland series? His fate will be decided by the General Council of the South African Rugby Union on the 4th of December. 2 challenges facing the beleaguered Bok coach is his lack of transformation in the squad, as well as the current tactics he employs with the team. Many feel it's not conducive to winning rugby and doesn't meet the requirements of a national coach. CS Du Plessis, CCTV, Johannesburg.
From 15s to 7s now, the 2015-2016 Rugby Sevens World Series gets underway in Dubai next month. This year's competition will see an expanded tournament from 9 legs to 10. The season will also see the return of previous hosts Singapore and France, while Canada is the new tour stop. Kenya, which is Africa's only other core team alongside South Africa, is hoping a new technical bench and the return of key players can see them improve on a dismal 13th place finish last season. Celestine Caronay reports.
Old faces are back and new ones are introduced into Kenya's Rugby Sevens team, which is preparing for the new World Series season in Dubai next month.
Ready, press, eh?
Coach Benjamin Ayimba, back on the World Series circuit in a second coaching stint with Kenya, named 4 new players as experienced players Willie Ambaka and Oscar Ouma make a return.
From the onset, Paul and I have wanted to give those people who've been either denied a chance or never had the chance to give it a run. And we think these are the kind of players who win you games and win you tournaments.
The new season has been expanded to 10 legs with the introduction of Canada, while Singapore and France are back in the calendar. The 2014-2015 World Rugby Sevens Series season was Kenya's worst performance in over a decade in the competition. And as they begin the new season, the team is aware of the burden of expectation placed on them to improve.
We don't want to end up where we were because we know we can do better. So the challenge is, what are the issues surrounding us that made us get to end up at number 13? So we're looking at all those issues, and if we provide all the circumstances that we're looking for and build structures, we definitely will perform better going into the Olympics, because we really just don't want to go to the Olympics to march around the stadium and say, yes, I'm an Olympian.
With a target of reaching the quarterfinal in every leg, the team begin their campaign with a tricky Group D in the first leg in Dubai. They face England, Australia and Wales.
The toughness of the pool is very relative, and we probably base it on how they played last season. So the best we can do for us is to take our A game, bring our A game to the field on the day.
Coach Ayimba achieved a number of milestones in his first tenure as coach, including taking the team to its first Sevens World Cup semi-final in 2009. There is expectation that he can reach the same heights, if not go further.
Expect to see the flair from the Kenyans. Expect to see every individual bringing his talent to the sport. In the recent past, we've been very restricted in what we're going to do, and it's been very mechanized. Players are back to making decisions and enjoying the game and playing as they're talented to do.
The team begins the new season buoyed by an impressive Olympics qualifying campaign in Africa. But whether that winning form can hold on a world stage, which can be very unforgiving, is what fans are waiting to see. Celestine Karone, CCTV in Nairobi.
Now, preparations for the 2016 Rio Olympic Games have now entered the final stretch as the host nation continue to launch test events in preparation. Rio de Janeiro Mayor Eduardo Paes inaugurated the Olympic Canoe Slalom Course this week. Paes rode down the Whitewater Stadium in the city's west zone just hours before Olympic athletes took to the waters in the first day of the four-day event. The aim is to complete the 250-meter course passing through hanging gates in the shortest time possible, while also avoiding obstacles where a penalty of 2 seconds is added to an athlete's time for touching a pole. 250 athletes from 40 countries will be participating in 4 categories, including men's canoeing singles and doubles, men's kayaking singles, and women's kayaking singles. Right now, the debate over whether or not women should compete in mixed martial arts rages on in South Africa as more and more women are taking up the sport. The number of professional fighters is increasing and winning over more fans as women get started to get the same recognition as men in one of the fastest growing sports on the African continent. Here now is C.S. Duplessis with more.
Women participating in mixed martial arts is now becoming commonplace in Africa's largest MMA organization, the Extreme Fighting Championship. And one athlete making a name for herself after just one professional fight is the talented SHANA Power, who is already being touted as a future champion of the flyweight division. But the 23-year-old, nicknamed Titanium, loves the sport and believes it has changed her life for good.
It doesn't only transform you as an athlete, but for me it's been, you know, in life, I've looked at life differently now. It's actually given me the skills and the tools to deal with a lot of challenging moments in my life. So for that, I feel like it's created a lot of growth for me personally.
3 years ago, Power was diagnosed with pulmonary emboli and told she would never be able to do anything physical again, something that did not sit well with her. So she went for a second opinion and hasn't looked back after overcoming that challenge.
For me, that fight wasn't just a fight. It was overcoming a lot of adversities in my life at that time. And I think any victory in the cage for me it's always back to that moment that I was given another chance and to follow my dreams.
Power's coach Richard Kwan believes that the talented athlete is destined for big things after her debut pro fight several weeks ago.
The more time she puts on the mat, the more experience she gets. The longer she does that for, the more skill set she's going to get. The more skill she acquires, the better she's going to improve and perform on the local market and on the international market. And you know, for her first fight wasn't a local girl. Her first pro fight was an international girl, so she's already put herself in the international market, which is great for female fighters.
Women's MMA in South Africa has been greeted with mixed reactions, with many saying that women shouldn't be part of mixed martial arts, while there's a growing call now for more women to be involved in a sport that's been dominated by men for so many years.
For a female, it's not only your debut, now you've got to show as to why you belong there in a male-dominated sport. So I would say there's a lot of pressure, and especially with mixed martial arts being in its infancy stage in South Africa, breaking ground and trying to grow the sport and being one of the first females in the in EFC. it's a lot. Like, it's not a lot of winning, but it's a lot of training, a lot of pressure. You don't want to let anyone down. So it's definitely got its challenges.
Power, who has already been compared to the UFC's highest paid athlete, Ronda Rousey, has set her sights on creating history and leaving a legacy for women's MMA on the African continent. She is also hoping, through her efforts in and out of the hexagon, to become a role model for women who want to take up the sport of MMA. But for now, the Johannesburg resident is taking it one step at a time and one spinning back fist at a time. CS du Plessis, CCTV, Johannesburg.
Finally, tomorrow, South Africa's Orlando Pirates face Tunisia's Étoile du Sahel, meeting in the second leg of the CAF Confederation Cup final for a chance to be crowned champions of the continent's second biggest club competition. For our Matchpoint Top 5 this week, we look at the most successful champions in the competition by country. Kicking off our countdown at number 5 is Congo. The nation only had one representative in the finals of the CAF Confederation Cup in its history, and that is AC Leopards. The Beasts from Niari won the 9th edition of the competition in 2012, beating Malian side Joliba 4-3 on aggregate. Mali are fourth on our list, having had 2 teams reach the finals of the competition. As mentioned before, Joliba reached the finals of the 2012 edition, while Bamako side Stade Malien actually won it in 2009. Their sole title came after beating Tunisians Sétif on penalties to take the competition. Ghana are third and also have one winner and runner-up in the history of the competition. Incidentally, both teams met each other in the same final in 2004. Accra Giants Hearts of Oak met Asante Kotoko of Kumasi in the 2-legged final. After both legs finished 1-1, it was Hearts of Oak who ran out winners after a penalty shootout which ended 8-7. Turning to North Africa now for our second best nation, which is Morocco. With 3 winners and 1 runner-up, the nation has had the most number of different teams that have won it. Association Sportive des Forces Armées Royales Rabat in 2005, FAT Union Sport Rabat in 2010 and Maghreb Association de Fez in 2011 make it 3 winners for Morocco, with FAR Rabat also finishing as runners-up in 2006. At number 1, it's Tunisia, who have had a representative at the finals of the competition on 6 different occasions. Leading the charge is the competition's most successful club of all time, CS Sfaxien, with 3 victories, while Étoile have 1 coming into the 2015 final. Both clubs also have a runners-up medal apiece, while Club Africain also joined them as unlucky finalists, having lost the 2011 final to Moroccan side Maghreb Fez. Well, that's it for Matchpoint this week. Do send us feedback. Our email address is matchpoint@cctv.com, our Facebook page CCTV Africa, and our Twitter handle is @CCTV News Africa. Thanks for watching. I'm Maya Mutwa. We leave you with this week's move of the week, which comes from the NBA. Steph Curry's spin for a basket as the Golden State Warriors set a record for the best start in NBA history against the LA Lakers.
In 1975, the spin by Curry.
His ability to get to the basket, nice spin, little flip shot over the hands of Russell.
Using it to get to another level, and they do it with superb team basketball at both ends of the court. So beautiful to watch. Their last regular season loss, 24 points.